Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles, to Face Palm Sunday. Shockingly enough, this guy that I'm about to respond to has around 50,000 subscribers, and a lot of his videos have a lot of support. I mean, it would only seem reasonable that they have support, considering that the audience that he's talking to are most likely a bunch of bigots. But nonetheless, we're going to be taking a look at his video titled, "The Plot to Make America Gay."
Why has homosexuality come out of the closet into the living room of American life?
Because we live in a newer generation. We don't live in the 1940s or 50s. We don't live in the Stone Ages. We live in a generation where being gay is being widely accepted and tolerated and no longer condemned. I mean, it still is in certain places around the world, in certain churches, in certain places, but overall more states are legalizing gay marriage because there's really no issue with it. That's why gays are coming out of the closet.
Through a combination of media, Hollywood, lobbies, and courts, all run by Jews.
Notice those last few words? All run by Jews. All run by Jews. So this video was featured on the Drunken Peasants. I was on their podcast last week, and this video was featured. We didn't actually watch the whole thing, but I didn't know this, that, you know, there's a lot of different conspiracy theories out there, and this is one of them, and I had no idea until this video that there was a conspiracy. I guess there's a conspiracy theory about everything, I would assume now, but I never knew that there's this idea that everything is run by Jews. And this guy literally believes that everything, whether it be the Hollywood movie industry, probably porn industry, whatever it be, is run by Jews. And it makes me wonder, what gets someone to this point? Like, I know there's crazy people who believe in conspiracy theories, but what makes someone specifically believe that everything is run specifically by Jews? I don't know how people get to this point. What type of upbringing did they have in order to believe this sort of shit?
Sexual depravity is now touted as the new normal.
What is sexual depravity? All too often I hear religious fundamentals or religious folks use this word, sexual depravity, and it's a word that I believe, I've always hated people asking a question and answering it, but that's what I'm doing here. I've always hated people who use the term sexual depravity because it essentially basically says that any biological, natural thing of that humanity has, for example, biologically, sex. Sex is sexual depravity unless we do it under certain circumstances, for example, getting married with a husband and wife, no premarital sex, no sucking someone off unless you're married, but you can't suck someone off unless it's your wife or it's your husband. A woman going on a woman or a man going on a man is considered sexual depravity because it's not natural. I've responded to these types of arguments before, so I'm not going to jump into it, but sexual depravity in my definition is defined as any religious folk using it to coin that they're non-acceptance of a sexual act. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's perfectly legal to do, their religious beliefs, religious convictions deems it as sexual depravity, which is a really harsh word to use towards people because it really does shame people for being who they are when you say that you're sexually depraved.
In fact, a sitcom called The New Normal features perverted bedroom scenes and homosexual propaganda targeting American youth.
Homosexual propaganda. Is not this video itself Jewish propaganda or religious propaganda that you're spewing here regarding the Jews?
And shows like Modern Family and Faking It continue the endless onslaught of sexual perversion. Jewish Hollywood also spreads the great to be gay message with movies like Brokeback Mountain and Adam and Steve. But it's not just on our screens, it's on our streets with gay pride parades, egged on by the Jewish-owned media, overrunning the real normal. Topping the plot to make America gay are powerful Jewish lobbies. Behind the Boy Scouts lifting its ban on homosexuals were the National Jewish Committee on Scouting and the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism. And the Anti-Defamation League has unleashed, in tandem with the American Federation of Teachers, a flood of homosexual books placed before the eyes of impressionable young children in our public schools.
I would agree that children are impressionable, but when it comes to human sexuality, no, they're not. I've never understood this religious mindset that if a child sees someone who is gay, just seeing it makes them gay. How do people get to this point of thinking this line? That's like me walking out and me seeing someone drink alcohol or smoke a cigarette, and by me seeing that, I automatically become a avid cigarette smoker or an avid drunk. There's no correlation with simply seeing something makes you that particular way. And I guarantee you that young kids, children, don't give a living rat's ass about if someone is gay or not. That is the least thing that those children should be concerned about, is whether someone is gay.
The goal is to dismantle a Christian consensus in America, for where no shared values are present.
Now that phrase certainly sounds familiar with Mitt Romney ad. Does anybody remember Mitt Romney when he's doing that presidential ad campaign and he walks up and he's talking about gays serving in the military and America not sharing the same values? Whenever someone says shared values, what they mean is their values. And their values is, anytime I even hear the word values, it's always regards to religious folks saying that you don't believe what we believe, therefore what you believe is wrong, sinful, and does not glorify God. Shared values means our values. That's it. And you can continue to have your shared values because your shared values are nothing but bigotry, and I want nothing to do with that.
A Jewish worldview takes over. But the most sinister of Jewish influence is what's happening in our courts. Same-sex practice was force-fed all the way up to the Supreme Court by the ACLU when Donna Lieberman represented two Jewish lesbians, Edith Windsor and Thea Spire. The case resulted in 4 Jews on America's highest bench, Ginsburg, Kagan, Breyer, and Sotomayor, striking down the Defense of Marriage Act. Recently, the same 4 Jews refused to uphold bans on same-sex marriage by the states. Whether it's media, Hollywood, lobbies, or the courts, the Jewish plot to make America gay is at our very doors.
Oh my goodness. What is more sinful? You sitting there preaching hatred and bigotry, or your beard? Because if I remember correctly, the Old Testament has some pretty strict laws about people with your physical appearance. But of course, that doesn't matter because what religious person actually follows the scripture head to toe, line by line? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you a quick secret before this video ends, is that the Holocaust didn't happen. That is the goddamn motherfucking truth. The Holocaust did not happen. In fact, the Nazis, Hitler, the Germans, they were the ones tortured and abused and put in prison camps by the motherfucking Jews. The Jews are responsible for the death of Nazism. Get that through your thick skull. That is the truth. And the truth shall set you free. My name is Daniel Solzbach, also known as Mr. Epsion here on YouTube. Thank you for watching this Facepalm Sunday video. Tomorrow I will be posting a video regarding the new game Dying Light that's coming out in 2015. I'm going to be previewing it. I got a preview build, so I'm going to be showcasing it to you guys. Along with, I also did a podcast with the Drunken Peasants, and I did a podcast a week and a half ago with the Bible Reloaded on YouTube. They run a podcast where they respond to Christian tracts. The tracts were the really terrible Christian messages. Their videos are linked down below if you'd like to go there and watch the Bible Reloaded or the Drunken Peasants. If you want to see more cringe of me, by all means go and give them a listen. My name is Daniel Solzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion. Peace the rep out and have a fantastic Sunday, you religious bigots.